Some other goals. Yeah, I want to be known, but known for what? You could be known for doing something really stupid, and that's probably not a good way to be known.
So, Chris, talking about creating content, what advice do you have for people who want to create some content to help build their brand?
There might be other ways to build a brand. Is content creation something they've been thinking about? Do they want to experiment? I think it's fine to just be like, oh, I want to give it a go. Then you have to think about what medium. Writing is almost always the lowest barrier to entry because you're writing every day anyway, you're chatting through text, whatever, right? It's the easiest form to go and publish it on one of these platforms. So that would be my advice in terms of if they did want to post content and building their personal brand. But building your personal brand could also be like you getting speaking gigs, you holding up your hand in your company saying, I'll lead this workshop. There's a bunch of other ways you could do it. It really depends if content creation is something that person is interested in. And I'll also ask why they would want to build their personal brand. What is it for? What's the end goal? Is it to get a job? Is it to get a raise? Is it to sell products and services? Is it to go freelancing? What is the goal? So there's a bunch of other ways, I would say.
That's fair. So, in UX Playbook, do you talk about personal brand?
Do I actually specifically talk about LinkedIn just because that's one of the places that your employers would look at. So it's more of okay, here's what you need to do with your LinkedIn. So it's not so far as a holistic take on personal branding because it's such a big topic, but it's more like, okay, here's what you should optimize for in your headline, your banner, your photo, and all that stuff. So you look a bit professional and you can also communicate what unique value you add. So I just launched this course called Job Sprint, and the first module is about personal brand. So it's really like understanding yourself, what your unfair advantage is. So I like to have 3 concentric circles. The first one is what a designer needs, and then it's like talent and skill, and then it's like passions and interests, right? If there's an overlap, similar to the Ikigai framework out there, if there's an overlap, then you can easily communicate that to your potential employer or just put it on your LinkedIn. I would say that yes, building things online or creating things online is great for personal brand, but yeah, it doesn't have to be content. It could be products that you put out there. But if you do, let's just say someone says, okay, I'm very sure that I want to create content. Okay, cool. So what should they be thinking about? I think content creation is a bit glorified and a lot of people get really lucky really quickly.
What are some goals that you have heard people say and maybe that you encourage them to refine to help them with the strategy?
From Tice, another content creator, brilliant, but he just wanted to get better at writing. So I think that was good. Going in with not that high expectations, what is the measurement of better? He was just like, look, if as long as I do this every single day for half an hour, I'm happy with that. And they go viral. Just know that most of us don't get lucky. They are the outliers. So how do you build it over a long space of time? You have to actually commit to it and consistently show up. I think everybody says that, but it's actually true, right? Like it took me 10 months to get to 10,000 and then 3 months to get to 20,000. I would have never got to 20,000 if I just quit a year in, right? So really it's building that muscle. So whether it's video or writing, just building that consistent habit and muscle because it gets easier and easier over time. And then you can iterate based on the metrics if that's what you care about. And that's what we cared about. So, of course, we shifted. But for you, it could just be like being a better writer, being a better storyteller, being a better video editor, or all those things. But have a goal to this personal brand thing. And that should help you like stay motivated.
So, thanks for that. So, what are some goals? I think that could actually be challenging for some people. They don't really know what a goal could be. Like, it could be, I want to get a job or I want to be known.
And that's like the process goal, and which is great, right? If he does that, hopefully that outcome would happen. But maybe it's like a bad goal would be like, I want to earn $1 million from content. Like that is crazy because if you don't earn any money, you'll get demotivated straight away and you just throw it away. So that's not a good goal. To get a job, one that folks say a lot, but really they don't know what job. Maybe they want a UX job, but they're not specific enough. What types of companies, who do they want to work with, what types of product they want to work on. So it's very fluffy. And will posting a content help you get a job? Maybe, but it's not certain. I would rather actually hunt down these people and knock on their doors and be like, yo, how can I help you? Versus create content and put it in the wild. I think that's like a different strategy. Some other goals. Yeah, I want to be known, but known for what? You could be known for doing something really stupid, and that's probably not a good way to be known. So I don't know. I mean, like, if that's their goal, up to them. But I just wouldn't have something like that. I wouldn't have a goal like that.
That's fair. And I think there's a difference in those examples that you gave, the goal that you can control versus an external factor, right? Follows and likes. You don't have control over that, really.
Exactly. So why bother?
Right. So you mentioned you were up to 20,000. Is that followers on LinkedIn? What were the numbers that you were talking about?
Yeah. So it took me 10 months to get 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. And then I believe 4 months to get the second 10,000. So 20,000. And then 3 months to get 8,000. And then, so it's just like snowballed. So now I think I'm on about 40, but it just snowballed. Growth has stunted. We were doing at one point at the peak, like 1,000 a week, which was great. Yeah. So definitely need to look at the data there to see what works. We haven't changed much, I'll be honest, in terms of what we're producing, but now we're getting more strategic with what we're posting. Of course, everybody gets stuck in the impressions, followers, likes, and get all that stuff. That does cloud your judgment because you crave for it. It's that dopamine. It's not that important unless you're working with a brand and they care about that stuff. Then that's the goal. Then it's important. But if you're doing it for yourself and continuously and for your business, then you shouldn't care about it too much because you have 365 shots on the goal, right, every year. So you're fine. And maybe more because different platforms. Yeah, one thing that doesn't perform is absolutely fine.
Yeah, that's true. Chasing those numbers can be exhausting for sure.
Check out all my interviews with industry leaders on BlatzChatz.